It's innate as a mom to advocate for your kids and to fight for them. And it was no different with Sly. And especially because he was born at 22 weeks. Especially because everybody thinks he won't make it. Everyone. My name's Leah Darrow Soldini. I'm married to Ricky Soldini, and together we have 7 kids here, 2 in heaven, and Sylvester is our 7th child. It's so funny to think of his due date now. Since he's already here, he should still be in my tummy. Yeah. I started having what I thought was just Braxton Hicks. I woke up the next day with a pretty high fever and still Braxton Hicks. And I saw that I had some spotting and I was bleeding. We knew that we needed to get help pretty quickly. And I was, 22 weeks pregnant, so I was much further along. I remember the doctor coming in and he told me, there's a lot wrong with your baby. There's a lot wrong. I said, okay, well, tell me what's wrong. And he goes, well, there's fluid on his brain. There's fluid in his stomach. There's some indicators and markers for some chromosomal defects. And it is not looking good. There was an option to not intervene for Sly. There was an option to let him die, to let him pass. That sounds better, doesn't it? But it's the same thing. I remember she sat on my bedside and explained to me what they had seen on the scans. And she says, if you want to choose to not intervene, you can. Just let us know. And that's an option that you can take. And I remember just kind of being stunned by the process of that question. And I remember looking at her immediately. I said, intervene, save my child. You need to hear it from my mouth. If the choice is me or my child, you save my child. I have lived an amazing life. You saved my child. But things began to take a turn very quickly. Sly's heart rate was dropping dramatically, and the doctors said, we have to go to the emergency room. We have to do an emergency C-section. And I saw this nurse, and I said, I want you to hold him if he dies. Like, don't let him die alone. I said, don't let him die on the table. And I remember she looked at me and she just said, I promise. And that's all I remember. I was out at that point. The next thing I knew, I woke up in the recovery room and I just saw this little baby, so tiny, just fighting to live. Sly was intubated at 22 weeks, immediately being born because his lungs were not fully developed at all. I cannot tell you how many times he almost died. There's so many. I can't fix the fact that he has chronic lung disease. I can't fix the fact that he has metabolic bone disease. And I reject the thought that I can do nothing to help my son. And then I began thinking, well, what can I do? Well, I can show up every day that I can. I can show up with my best self. And that's good for my own mental health too. So I'm gonna take a shower. I'm gonna put myself together. I'm gonna go up like, hey, what's up everybody? I'm Sly's mom. Because Sly can't talk. He's not able to advocate for himself, just like a baby in the womb can't advocate for themselves. These nurses, these doctors, they've seen terrible outcomes, very sad outcomes. But they deserve kindness too. Speak those words of hope and life into every person who cares for Sly, because it matters what people think. Our thoughts determine our lives. And there's no way I was going to let nurses or doctors not have hope that my kid was gonna make it.
Crazy. And he's gonna do big things. I just have this feeling.
He's got all the potential. It's all bottled up in 4 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his birth weight?
1 pound, 2 ounces.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy.
1 pound, 2 ounces. This is where we're at. We've quadrupled it. And he's shown good progress.
Yeah, I mean...
He just likes to take things slow, you know?
Yeah.
He's a fighter.
He is.
He's a fighter. His kids...
I have no doubt he's going to do just fine.
It's important for me, for the nurses and Sly's team, to not see him as 1891. That's his room number. He's not 1891. He's Sylvester Simeon Soldini. He's got 6 older brothers and sisters. He's got a mom and a dad that love him.
So look at you do. Are you smiling?
Are you smiling?
Are you crying?
Crying
Is it a cry? Or a smile?
You've been through so much.
There we go. There we go. Mama's here. It's okay. It's all right. One day at a time. Our potential doesn't begin just because we want it to. Our potential doesn't begin at a certain age. It's been given to us, and that potential is for good. And no matter how long Sly lives, I will always defend his life and protect it and make sure that it is a life that is worthy of his calling. Each week, he gets a tiny bit stronger. It's the smallest increment. The things that are so normal and we take for granted when we have our babies without any problems. For a NICU baby, it's everything. So now I get to actually feed him a bottle. That's so great.
Oh. Oh.
Hey, babe.
Hi.
How you doing?
Guess who I got?
Little guy? Oh, he looks so much better. Hang in there, buddy. You're gonna come home soon. He's so handsome. He looks great.
Yeah.
Can't wait to get him home.
Ricky has just been I don't know what I would have done without Ricky. He is the best person to have in this situation. You hope that person's gonna be like that when you get married. You never want to think about those things when you get married. You know, you don't want to, everything's happy. But what if everything goes wrong? And we've had a lot of things go really wrong lately. When they said for better or for worse, this was the worst part. Yeah, you see him? My other 6 kids are absolutely phenomenal. They have been amazing with Sly. You want to kiss him?
Yes.
Oh, it's so nice. They understand Sly has good days and hard days, but the hard days are still good. You know, it's such a healing time for both of us when we have that skin-to-skin time, when I'm holding him, just to be together, to be bonded over this, to let it hurt, to let it change us. It's all part of the healing process. Good things take time, even people. We all need time to develop and change. And frankly, I'm developing and changing into a better person each and every day. And the same thing goes for an infant or a baby in the womb. You have to give them some time and give them every possible chance to make it, because it is possible. It just takes time. It's never been a question of seeing the value of life, even if it's inconvenient, unintended. And these limiting beliefs of you thinking that life is only worthy for certain people or certain who have certain abilities is infecting others. And there's value in that life with potential that goes beyond who the parents are. That life in itself is good. The potential is good.
You're doing so well. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. Keep fighting. You're a fighter. One day at a time. One day at a time.